Welcome to Chordially Invited.
Hello, I am Samantha Béart.
I am your host, Lily Kay.
I'm an actor from London in the UK. You might know me as Karlach.
At least one of us is getting a little action.
I've been recently in Star Wars The Old Republic.
My work must be finished.
And upcoming game Fading Echo, that's a plushie from Fading Echo.
What if I'm not enough?
I have my own show called It Takes a Village, where I interview folks in the games industry on all things, well, about them really. There's a lot of people working behind the scenes who we don't even know about, who are making some of the biggest games in the world, or a part of them anyway. And the whole aim of the show is to shine a light on those individuals, but also those disciplines, because there's a lot of people, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, often in the same department. So it's there to demystify as well as celebrate our guests.
Hello, and not welcome back, because I still have to remember that you've been on my other podcast, but this is a new adventure. So welcome for the very first time here. It's very nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
How much research and preparation do you do before doing a character? The world of Baldur's Great 3 is obviously quite big with all the fractions, clans, races, and all that stuff. Do you go deep into the lore, or is it often enough to just learn the character that you're given, or figure out the character that you're given?
Yeah, so acting in general, I would have the whole text in the order with which it's to be performed, and I'd be able to form some opinions about the character from that. Yeah. And character is what you do, right? It's not a description of things on paper. It's a combination of where you're from, your upbringing, your attitudes, but also what you do in certain situations. That shows who you are. We Karlach specifically, I was provided like an arc of her whole character before we started recording. Obviously, you have to justify sometimes going from this side of things to that side of things, and that's with the help of amazing writers, producers, directors, just the crew, generally, to do that. Baldur's Gate is a very specific example and not the norm, but I think alignment helps. Knowing that she's chaotic good, like there's going to be, chaotic evil isn't going to come up unless you choose that origin version. But generally there is a certain attitude she's going to approach things with. So that's a good start. Generally I like to, it's the who, what, why, when, right? That's what every actor asks themselves. But something I like to ask myself is, what do other characters say about me? Which again, very difficult to do in Baldur's Gate 3 because I didn't have the script for anyone else. I'd bump into people in corridors between takes and go, what did you say about me today? Oh, I'm still a good person. Okay, great. But in Thomasina for Hobbs Barrow, everyone said behind her back that she's a snob. She's not aware of that. But if she's coming across like that, that's something to imbue it with. That's to give it some subtext, even if she's not aware of that. So give me a little bit of edge. Otherwise, you got quite a boring, dull, goody two-shoes character, and it would have been played quite differently. So I always do that work. Yeah, prep, it's the amount of information they give you when it comes to games. Often it's very little. People like to default to archetypes a lot of the time, or maybe sometimes they think of other performances that are similar or characters that are similar. I don't like to. I like to just get into the meat of why they're there, who they are, what they're doing. Do they like the person they're talking to? How far away are they? Do I have to shout? Or am I whispering in your ear? Like just basic stuff like that. But because I play games, I understand why you're saying, perhaps we should go down the east path like we said we would to that person we met half an hour ago. So I understand mechanically a lot of the time what some of the unique language to video games is, but otherwise it's the same exercise. Like, who are you? What are you gonna do in a sticky situation?
Do you usually play or watch the things that you are in?
Yeah, I'm making it a priority. I'm actually making that a priority. Otherwise, it's really sad if I have very little time now to play video games. That's just people who work in the industry have very little time to play them. It's a culture of crunch. You might have heard all about it. So I make it a priority now to play the games I'm actually in, so I can go, okay, well, next time I'll ask a question about this rather than flailing wildly. I know you've got a question coming up about what the difference is between now doing early games and now how I approach it. And it's basically, I have a lot more questions. I'll answer that more specifically when it comes up. But the worst thing is to see yourself on a video game. Oh no, if I realised it looked like that, if I realised that the soundscape was like that, I would have completely changed my performance. So I think it's good to look back. Plus, I play games. I'm from games. It's the ultimate dream for the main character to be me.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not? I'm going to do it. Exactly. I did it in Demon's Souls. I did it in Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to do it again in Fading Echo. So yeah, it's just to fit my own vanity, really. But yeah, just as I probably should. And it's not like film where I can't stand looking at myself because my face is removed from this equation. It's just a physical and vocal performance most of the time. So it's fine. It's tolerable.
It's like, how critical are you with yourself? The question
well,
comes.
it's too late, isn't it? Once it's in the can, it's too late. But I think there's a. I mean, you must have gone through this yourself. There's a point where you go, "Do I actually sound like that? Is that the voice that comes out of my face?" And you have to come to terms with that, especially in my, and especially if you're a jobbing actor and you're recording audiobooks and you're probably editing them yourself, you've got to get over that pretty quickly or it's going to be torture for you. But what's lovely about games is they are so well made and the teams are so big. I'm not really focused completely on myself. I'm looking at the world around me and like I said, the sound, the vision, the story, all of that comes into it. I kind of forget I'm in it after a bit, which is good. That's what we want.
Yeah, exactly. to get lost in the world. And I think that's, I think because I think it's Samuel L. Jackson who said that he's always watching everything that he does. And I actually think that for me, it would be very important. Yeah. To look back at the stuff that, I've been a part of and see maybe what could I, but I am also very critical of myself. So maybe I would just torture myself.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to watch it over and over again. But if it is a case of monitoring yourself, that's the way to do it. A lot of actors, especially like the higher profile actors, get to watch rushes every day and see if they're happy with that. Although, of course, you're a part of the bigger picture. It's really not your job to direct yourself. But, if it's going to cripple you, if it's going to inhibit your performance, maybe that helps. But I think there's a bit of work there. But yeah, every other work in the world, there's very few jobs out there where you just walk away from it. You go, here you go. I'm going to walk away now. Artistically, I'd say that. I'm not going to dwell on the story. That's not my area. But yeah, performance can be improved. If I'm doing something stupid and basic that can be fixed pretty quickly, then I'll do that.
Branching off of this, do you have a proudest moment and maybe a most embarrassing moment that you are willing to share with us?
If I do, my brain has scrubbed it all. I don't dwell on it. It's not what I do. It's in the moment trying to convince this person I'm talking to believe me or to go with me or to change their mind or whatever. I'm not really thinking you're not an
overthinking type then. You're not sitting
about it. It's way too overwhelming. There's nothing I can do about it, is there?
That's true. I think I think that's also a very good mindset to look at our own work, because once it's finished and out there, what can you do, really?
Yeah, what can you do? You can improve, you can iterate.
Yeah,
but there's
absolutely
no point going sitting with regrets or anything. That's life's way too short.
I like that, Alon. See, I should take notes. That's for me as well. Come on, I know that especially on stage. I think, but it's true for all kind of entertainment, but especially after coming off of stage, and I'm like, it's a good thing I can't look down because
you don't do it on stage, though, do you? You don't have that, because that's where you flick out of it and you've lost your lines. And it goes either way. It's either that voice saying, "Oh, you got that wrong," or even worse, I find, is the one that goes, "Oh, that was really good. Look, you got a round of applause for that." And then you've already lost the moment, because I've seen both happen, and both have happened to me very early on while I was training. That's kind of the point of the trainings. This sort of stuff doesn't happen. And yeah, afterwards, if you want to work on something again, I think that's very healthy. But yeah, it shouldn't be distracting and it shouldn't be impeding anything.
I think especially when you do comedy, I think that's the best example, when you do comedy and when you don't get the reaction and you start to think of like, yeah.
And if you've left a gap, good luck. Everyone's wondering why you're standing there in silence. You got to just push through that. If it didn't work, it didn't work. And that's why we do it. It's the unpredictability. Like, if it was the same every night, you might as well make it a film and do it once and be done. There's no point doing it over and over again.
Exactly. Oh yeah, the stage is just unbeatable, but it also can be very cruel. Can be very cruel,
especially when you're doing comedy. Good luck to you.
Yeah,
I applaud the stand-ups of the world, because I'm there, but for the grace of God.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I had to realize, because I very recently went to, which is sad somewhere, but I went to my very first stand-up comedy show. And cool. I think that the biggest death for a stand-up comedian is when they start acknowledging that, oh, my jokes are not landing.
Well, that's that self-analysis in the moment. Don't do it.
Do it.
Get those jokes out. You know what? If it's not for them, move on. Get off the stage. Just get off. For the love of God, don't tell them you're failing. They don't care. They don't pity you. They're going to watch you just slip into quicksand and film it.
Exactly. It's like, please don't do it. You kill yourself with that when you voice it of like, oh, my jokes are not landing.
I've seen that too many times. Yeah, I've seen it too many times. It's awful. You want to rescue them.
Exactly. You have already done a lot of work in the gaming industry. And this is the question you refer to. How much has it changed since you first started? And now? Yes, now. Let's put it to now.
Yeah, I think thanks to things like Baldur's Gate 3 and now Expedition, I think, is carrying the torch. There is a requirement for a much more mature style of narrative, which is great for me. It's more work. Fantastic. But it's a deeper kind of work. And again, I'm doing the sort of investigation I'm doing on text as I have it is getting closer and closer to the stage. And as I said, if you're a big video game, it's not possible to have everyone's lines and it would be out of order and you just blow your mind. But if you can find out what other people say about the character, I think that's really helpful. I'm just trying to think really way back. One of the first games I did was called Age of Wonders 3. And it was a real-time strategy game. It doesn't require lots and lots of deep branching narrative or anything like that. So I did like a series of monologues. Essentially, you do a campaign, and depending on which path you picked, my character Sundren would give you a summary afterwards, but they're monologues. They're very easy to do, and it didn't really, I just needed to know what happened and what I'm trying to say and talking to the player. That's really it. And then you go through to something like, even Fading Echo, which is will be a very short, it's like 10 to 15 hour action adventure RPG, that we have all these relationships between the characters, small group of characters, but that you wouldn't normally get in that genre. And going back to real-time strategy, there's a game, hasn't been announced yet, that I'm doing, where I was fully motion captured for that. That wouldn't have happened 10, 15 years ago. Like, that's fully performed. I don't know if anyone's going to appreciate that. I don't know if people who play real-time strategy games really care about an interesting and complicated narrative, but I guess we'll see. Someone thought that's a really good idea, and as I said, great for me. I don't really care what genre I work in. I'm doing the same thing, which is just performing. It really doesn't matter to me, or budget doesn't matter to me. It's just a good storyline, really. So this next year, the first half of the year is going to be a lot of releases, and they'll all be very different from each other, and I'm really interested in what people think of that, because I'm getting, obviously, because I've become a bit more successful in the last year or so, I'm getting more offers, but what I'm getting is variety, and that's really exciting to me. So it's a variety of stuff, the depth of narrative, I guess the more complicated nature of that narrative. Like, we are getting more branching stories, maybe in genres you didn't expect. So I don't know what it's like from the writer's side, but we're kind of cousins, so I imagine it's a similar thing, and we love it. We want more of it. And the fact that we have story mode now on games, that's not been out very long. People just want to enjoy the story, and they don't want to be amazing at pressing the buttons quick enough or in the right order, which is, I suppose, is an accessibility issue, but it's also like people just want to enjoy an interactive story sometimes.
Oh, 100%. It's saved my ass so many times. Nowadays, there's story mode. I'm like, phew.
There's nothing like just going, okay, I guess that's where the game ends. I can't beat this boss. That's it. Oh well, I had a good run.
God. Yeah. It's. I don't want to admit how many times that happened in the past. I'm like,
that's all right. They have you covered now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm one of those people who's like, thank you. Please do it more. There are still games that are just unbeatable because you can't have story mode, and it's like, this is not a game for me.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
how you usually decide.
I've played Souls games.
You did?
I was one of the I guess main character voices for Demon's Souls remake a few years ago, and I thought, well, I got to play it, haven't I? So I tortured myself. I did finish the first area. I did that because I pressed the buttons in the right order quick enough. That's all it seemed to be. Was like, if I execute these buttons in exactly the way they want me to, there seems to be only one way to do this. Great. I did not have the most fun as a player, but some people adore it. I was chatting to someone and he said the opposite. He's like, I love it. I love getting it right. Whereas I preferred freedom to fail and not be completely annihilated in terms of 20 minutes of gameplay or whatever. You know? But what I love about the new roguelites, like Absolum, which I'm in, or like Hades, is that you're rewarded for dying. You learn something about you. You get to keep some of the things you picked up. So I don't mind that so much. But that old, I guess it comes from arcade games, right? They want you to put your money in and start again. Once you're dead, and you gotta put that money in again. So I assume it comes from that. But some people love it. Some people are masochists.
I look at the games and I'm like, why? Why would you do that? It's fun.
Different strokes.
Definitely. Would you say that now, especially now that you've been part of so many different kind of genres, could you pick one that's like a standout to you that is like, I like this very much and this is very much me, or is there something that you haven't done yet but really would like to be a part of?
I love playing first-person action-adventure games. So, I mean, as I said, as a performer, I'm just coming in to do best I can in the role that I'm given. So it doesn't really matter. But when those two things align, it's really nice. So, like, Origin mode in Baldur's Gate 3, or Fading Echo, which I'm going to be the lead character in. And she's this wonderful fool, she's a child really. And so, she's really calling everybody out in that world. Everyone's very cool and hard. And she's like, what's that? What's going on there? Why didn't you stop the bad thing when you had a chance? There's all that. And there is something to be said for a child, calling into question all the dumb thing that their parents have done maybe. So that's quite joyful to play. And then, I'll play some, hardened by battle soldier who's very complex, and I'll play a scientist that's too smart for their own good and gets themselves into trouble, and all of that. And just to play the myriad of that as an artist, it's really satisfying. It doesn't really matter the medium, it doesn't matter whether it's games, film, TV, theatre, and it doesn't matter the genre of games either.
Do you have any hot takes regarding games or gaming in general? For example, it should be always an option to change the difficulty. That's one of the big hot takes that is going around. Do you have anything like that?
If that's the hot take, I'll take it, because for me that's really basic.
I think so too.
I'm not going to come for any particular game franchise. I think that would be unwise of me to do that. No, accessibility is amazing. And you know what? If you want to play on nightmare mode, you can do that. The existence of an easy mode does not impede you from playing the nightmare difficulty your little masochistic soul craves.
I agree with you. Like, it should be such a basic thing, in my opinion.
But,
so I don't even know why it is
budget, isn't it? But that's a budgetary thing, I imagine, a lot of the time. Your regular indie, I don't know exactly how they code that in, but yeah, I mean, maybe it is remove X number of N-2 if you're on this mode, or plus an extra 5 if you're on. I don't know. I assume it's quite it's going to be expensive to implement because it's going to take time.
Yeah,
it's going to take time. So we're still arguing about localization and whether it's worth the money. So yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, but in general, do you have anything else that is like?
You can try to get me cancelled, Lily.
No.
Are you trying to get me cancelled?
No.
Is this like the long game? I don't think so. But again, what's normal to me might be really controversial to someone else. I don't know. Let's paint this one with broad brushstrokes. Choice isn't an attack on you. Having choice in a video game is not an attack on you as a person. I'll leave that one out there. People will either get that or they won't. People on YouTube who make lots of money saying they don't want to have choice.
Really?
They just want to play as people who look and sound like them.
Interesting. I'm behind on that. Okay. Okay, interesting.
It's called clickbait culture. You get money for upsetting people.
Oh,
you see?
Oh my god. Yeah. Tell me about it. Okay. I get it now.
You get it now. Okay.
I get it now. All right. Do you have a one that got away rule?
If I did, I wouldn't tell you. Also, you got to remember, if I did an audition and I didn't get it, I probably don't know what it is.
That's true, because of the code names and the NDAs and whatnot. Is it still a thing that they give you like a completely bullshit name, so you don't know what you're actually going for?
Yeah, what's really cute is when they don't change the names of the characters, or they leave some very specific in-universe words that I can Google. So I like doing that. I like working it out. at least give me the genre. That helps me pitch it. You know, something that's very domestic is going to be different to a space opera, for instance. It's going to save you a lot of time and money in the booth while I don't ask stupid basic questions about what I'm actually in. I was in something quite big a few months ago where they only told me the title of the game once we started recording. And I was like, no, hang on a sec. Do you want to tell me what I'm in now? I mean, I've guessed it. I guessed it correctly, but that wasn't the point. I just wanted them to hear them say the name of the game. So we're still there. We're still there with the NDAs. Yeah.
Okay.
Great times.
I can understand it to some extent, but then, you know, if you want to cast people, don't you?
If you want their best work, maybe.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm going to Fading Echo. I don't have an NDA for that. That seems to be working out quite nicely. I'm in their Discord. I don't leak stuff. I know the difference between a spoiler and basic stuff like I'm in this. It's fun to play. Folks and Critical Role are in it. It's a short game. It's going to be out later this year. You know, there's nothing controversial in that, I don't think. But there we go.
Yeah, I think.
I know
and
some
I think
actors have blown their NDAs, you know, but most of us don't.
Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of times when spoilers do slip, they kind of accidental in a way.
But like someone leaked the entirety of GTA 6's storyline. No one cares.
Yeah.
They're going to play it anyway. No
exactly.
one cares.
Exactly. So...
Do you know what, Lily? I do wonder if it's a way to stop people, freelancers, people working on it, of knowing what they're in and charging accordingly.
Oh, that's a good thought. I never thought about it that way. It might be.
Yeah, because they don't disclose budget or anything, like,
exactly.
like how big the company is or anything. Everyone's an indie, by the way. Everyone's an indie.
That's the hot take.
Yes.
They're going to think that is a hot take.
It's really not. If you look at SAG-AFTRA and Equity, what we've been fighting for is like, can we have some clarity so we know how to actually charge you for our work? That'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow. Okay. Has there ever been a performance you weren't satisfied with, but it still ended up in the finished product?
Always with shooting. Unless you're on stage, you do not have control with the take that they pick. You don't have control over it at all. No, they can choose anything. So the standard is, or at least my standard is, to offer 2, maybe 3 if I flubbed. Make them very different because I don't always know the context of it, and they just pick the best one. And sometimes you listen to that and you go, "Oh no,
why did you pick that?"
Yeah. They said it's nothing. I contribute to the bigger picture. I'm not the center of it, so I'm not that bothered.
Yeah,
I get over it quite quickly.
Yeah. I gathered that from the previous answers that you I think you're doing it right, to be honest, because more people should use that of like, you know, you've done it, so there it is. Yeah. You can improve in the future.
They've paid you because they think you're the best person for that job, and if you don't believe that, you shouldn't be doing it. Hot take.
Amen. No, that's an amen. That's it. And it's honestly, it's such a big help for overthinkers of just realize that and you're already on a good road, on a good way.
Someone said that to me once about like imposter syndrome when I was in tech, and we all talked about it because there's just too much to learn, right? So you're constantly thinking, trying to catch up. So no wonder you feel like an imposter. And it was like, well, okay, so either you know nothing, right? But think about it this way. You managed to hoodwink this enterprise business, right? And get a ridiculous salary from making it up. They didn't even realize you're that good a liar. And you're like, they're like, aren't you a genius for managing to do that? Which I thought was quite a nice way to see it. Like, oh yeah, I'm a mastermind.
Exactly. I should have you on more. we should have a segment of let's boost confidence and let's stop overthinking these things.
Only if we can do it without context, just to add a bit of spice to the mix.
100%. 100% we can. Here's an interesting question. I'm very interested to hear. If you ever had to learn something for a role that you never thought that you will ever have to learn.
Not yet. What's really nice about my career in games so far is that I haven't had to learn a single line of dialogue. And now I'm just a little concerned if I do have to, because it's been a while, if I do have to go back, well, does the brain work? Or will you have to do, you have to whisper in my ear, like some of those A-grade male actors of a certain age get away with. Only the male actors, no one else. But no, I that's a bit worrying. I'm worrying that memory's gone. I'm very good at sight reading. You have to be good at sight reading in the game space, again, because of NDAs, and also because people get a bit nervy sending you full scripts when they're not ready. Don't worry, babe, I'm not learning it. Just want to know what the character's like through what they say rather than how you've described them. I'm trying to think. I mean, people make a fuss about mocap. Unless you're doing creatures or stunts, don't pay a stranger lots of money to learn how to stand. Because, if you're playing a human and that, it'll take 5 minutes for them to go, these are the rules of the space. Like doing black box theatre. These are the rules of the space. These are the boundaries. Yeah. This is what every 20 minutes you're going to do a T-pose. It won't take very long, and it's certainly not worth spending a lot of money on it. There you go. That's something I've learned. You don't need to spend tons of money on mocap training.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that should be a given anyway, because if you, I never understood the concept of it, of like, you have to learn mocap separately, and I'm like, okay, but like, aren't you just basically putting on the suit, get the dots, and you still
behave like a normal human? Yeah. Unless you're not. If you're playing creatures and that, absolutely. But then that would be some sort of dance training or movement training. Again, you wouldn't get that physical vocabulary in a couple of expensive classes. Those classes would be there to, again, formalize in this way of working, how to work. It'd be like saying, I'll learn how to do stunts on set. Don't do that. We had a whole thing in the UK when it was unregulated for a while, where actors, trying to be noticed and that we're doing stunts and getting hurt, and there was no insurance. So don't do that. Why don't you get the stunt training and then offer yourself to a mocap facility? But yeah, there's a misconception that mocap is so specialist that, and I know there's separate actors to do it sometimes. A lot of that's to do with actors' budgets. A very, very expensive film actor, they're not going to be able to afford that rate, so that'll be why it's done a lot of the time. Or that actor doesn't have time to do it, or just the way the workflow works. Maybe they want to animate it first before they get the voices in. Baldur's Gate, we did it in one. There's a lot of people still don't know we did mocap, hundreds of hours of mocap for, just over, in my case, 10 and a half hours of audio. I could have done that in a handful of sessions very easily if it was just voice. Didn't. So I know my character backwards, because I had to say it line by line again and again and again, because sometimes that technology didn't quite work the way we wanted it to, or we wanted to try something new. And there was a lot of setup and discussion every time, and it was basic stuff. So yeah, let alone doing things in, guys from GTA 5 were fully mocapped. A lot of people don't know that. Obviously God of War, I think that's well documented, but GTA 5, they got together and they did scenes, like movie scenes, and they had props and everything, and I think there's a little bit of behind the scenes about that. Red Dead Redemption 2, exactly the same. They did full mocap for that. People don't know that. That gives you a different performance and also a feeling of connection to the work as well, because you're physically now part of it. So but yeah, what I'm saying is those actors wouldn't have done an expensive course to get the job. That's just, can you stand up and walk around like a real human being? Great. You might get some firearms training if that's something I haven't done yet. That might be something I have to do. The classic is horse riding, which every actor lies about. I have never lied about that because I like being alive. So I'm not going to lie about that one. But it's not, to answer that very long question. Yeah, mocap, I think, is put on a pedestal quite a bit. There's very few people who will do creature stuff. I think Andy Serkis is so famous for it. Everyone assumes that that's what it is. But remember, he was an actor first.
Exactly. And I know Andy Serkis has his own school about this, school, or
he's
just
certainly got his own company, Imaginarium.
It's own company. Yeah. Where you can actually.
A very busy man. He's a very busy man, so I can't imagine that he could keep that going himself.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I think I think developers would be great for it again, if or cinematics people, if as an empathy exercise or just a way to budget things or see how long things take. I think that's really good. But I don't think more than an afternoon or a day or something. You don't really need that. You don't need that much. Again, unless you're going to something very, very specialist.
Yeah, exactly. I would think so as well, but. Again, I've never been to mocap. I want to try it at one point of just like,
You do enough games, one day you turn up on set and they go, right, get into the suit. And you'll go, no, I'm not ready. And they NDA.
Excellent. This is the most important question for me because I am a huge Alien fan. It's behind me. I love Alien to death, and I will have to ask about Alien River of Pain. The first question were you a fan before getting cast into Alien River of Pain, or did you know anything about the franchise in general at that point?
So I watched Aliens when I was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
There you go.
Okay.
That's your answer.
Wow.
I thought it was pretty cool. I saw Hellraiser when I was 8. I had an older brother. I had a friend with an older brother. We had access to videos. See, this is what you're missing out on, kids. We're talking about like AI tricking you and social media making you miserable, whereas you can really freak yourself out as a child by watching horror films. Yeah. And I do add that was off my own back. An adult did not present me with that and go, this is a good way to keep you quiet. I get quite annoyed when people bring me like a 5-year-old Baldur's Gate fan who says they're romancing Karlach, and I go, no. First of all, don't do that. Second of all, don't tell me. You're not going to get the response you want. But there's a difference between a child finding that themselves and an adult giving that to them. So I just want to make that clear. My parents had no idea. I was watching the Alien fan. Terminator 2, great film. Watched that as a kid as well. Love them all. And I love the special effects. They sort of, unfortunately, it's kind of hardened me to horror. It's very difficult for me to suspend my disbelief and go with the slasher. I'm just looking at special effects and whether or not I think they're cool. I can't. The only one that I've really enjoyed recently, like body horror sort of thing. I do like a body horror because there's normally a story as well. It's not just spectacle. Was The Substance, because I thought the body horror really serves the narrative. Like the two of them go together. It's not just shock value or kind of what if. It was a really clever horror version of the Cinderella story. That was my interpretation. It's a real recommendation if you do like. Well, I'd put early Alien films into that body horror category as well.
Oh, definitely,
yeah.
Definitely. I still remember.
Yeah, I was very aware of Alien before.
Good. Good.
No spoilers. I mean, it's a minor character in audiobook, audio drama. She kind of survived. Because she never really stayed on the new colony. So just saying. I mean, there'd be no alien if we made it, because she never meets the alien. She'd be Tressa would be living her best life somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
Saying.
Exactly.
Just saying.
You've been to and are still going to a lot of Comic Cons since Baldur's Gate 3 has been released, especially. Since its release in 2023, how much did the fan engagement change? Or is it pretty much the same still? How do you see it?
I haven't been to a Comic-Con as a guest till Baldur's Gate 3 because there was nothing in there that was big as that people are going to line up for, I would say it's slightly bigger for me, actually, because we always have new players and people are introducing other people to it. Some people come back. There's whole countries I've never been to, particularly, obviously, Europe. America is the one where you get the most cons. There's just a lot. Yeah. And Europe, there's plenty. The majority of Europe I've not been to as a guest. So there's going to just be more of that this year in 2026. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. Got Lithuania. We got Switzerland. I've never done Ireland as a guest. My late father was Irish. There's all these places I haven't been to as a guest. So I'm really excited to meet folks and hear how you played it, because by God, you tell me all about it. And of course, you got to remember, Lily, everyone's run is completely different. So at least it's not boring.
That's very true. Yeah, exactly. You find out.
Tell me how many hours they did, what they did. They're not playing. They want some absolution. They're like, I'm sorry, I've had to put it down. I have to work. And they're like, that's normal. Don't worry about it. Or like, oh, I did this bad thing. I don't care. That's your game.
Wow.
A lot of people, it'll be their first video game, which blows my mind because,
that's insane.
Easier games to pick, and they persist with it and they learn how to play it. And people who've never played D&D either, so you're learning 5e rules and you're learning a video game and the coordination that goes with it, and they're all in on the story. They're all in on the story, and they will learn to get that story. So I take my hat off to the dedication.
Definitely.
And hope they play other games as well, because there's amazing choice out there.
I mean,
now.
To be fair, Baldur's Gate 3 is very addicting. I think in general we can say that, because once you get into it, it's like, you just want to do it as many ways as possible, which I never did because I always end up with the same story. I'm like, I have to be good. That's my thing. I can't hurt people. I'm like, I'm incapable of that.
The heart wants what the heart wants, Lily. That's what it is.
It is, but it's really nice to hear that instead of like, because once a game has been released, it can go down after like a year or two, but Baldur's Gate is definitely something that is like just keeps getting bigger it feels
so
like.
much choice. There's so much choice. Even if you think about character selection, you've got Tav, you've got Origin, you've got Dark Urge. So you've got three very different ways to play that game. And then within the Origins, you've got 6 characters to choose from. And it's all the subtext we haven't been saying to each other in the game. It's all the secret thoughts and everything kind of come out in the dialogue. I mean, it's just endless. And then, of course, every encounter you can handle a different way. Those dice rolls can take you in a completely different direction. And failure, it's not the usual video game failure. It's you're just going to have a very fun, weird time.
Yeah.
Like a real, because Larian were really going for this tabletop experience where there's no wrong way to play it.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes it wonderful at the end of it.
Yeah. It'll be enduring for a while. I mean, good luck trying to compete with that. I think people shouldn't. I think they should do their own thing. First of all, you're going to get compared to Baldur's Gate 3, but I think that should encourage people to, well, I think it has, to get more deep narrative into video games, into areas you wouldn't normally get it. But it's great. There's an audience for it because I'm a storyteller first. I love my stories. I had a degree in English long before I found out about actor training or acting being a choice. I had my nose in books when I was a kid, watching Aliens and Hellraiser, of those good things. Love a story, just love a story.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that that's now being valued in video games quite a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. And since we mentioned Comic-Cons, can you share a best and the weirdest fan experience, and how would you handle like a difficult situation?
People are really normal face to face.
Good.
It's the people online you got to worry about. The ones who are faceless, who'll say anything, and like the opinion of a stranger doesn't really bother me. So if it did, I wouldn't be able to do cons or be online or anything. And then I'm not as online as I could be because, again, I have to preserve some of my humanity. Or I put my whole life out there to be commodified by TikTok. Love it. I don't. There was nothing horrible has happened.
Okay, that's good.
But I can take, people are very, think about Karlach's storyline without really going into it. And the possible kinds of people, the situations you could find yourself identifying that, it can get very heavy at the table. But I don't mind, honestly. Like, if it's incredibly special that you feel you can tell me, a stranger to you, that you've had this, it's always positive, this very positive experience with the character, with the game. And I don't mind that at all. It's some people would be, I think rather insensitively would call it trauma dumping, or I don't see it that way. It's you've had a very profound connection to this character or this game, and it's a gift that I was trusted with that, and it's a miracle that landed, and enough people have played it to then line up at a Comic-Con and tell me about it. So I'm very grateful for that. I said people behave themselves. People do.
What can you tell us about anything that you are currently working on or coming out? You mentioned Fading Echo, for example. We know that NDAs can be very strict, but can we get a little sprinkle of what Samantha Béart is going to be in this year, maybe next year?
I can go by, maybe next. Who knows? Because they don't tell me.
Who knows?
So lots of different genre. I would say there's something coming out every month, or an announcement being made every month from now till the end of spring.
Okay.
I literally can't tell you what it is, but different, as I said, different genres, different size roles, and different size projects. Let's put it that way. I said lots of different things, from action adventure to real-time strategy to a more experimental piece that'll be announced next month that I'm doing, which I'm really excited about. I'm excited about all of them, but obviously the more involved I am, the more I know about it, the more I can tell you. Big AAA game. Couple of big AAA games I got small roles in, and if I say too much, people guess. You see.
That's true.
And then that becomes quite difficult, so you can't really say anything. But really exciting projects. But, some things get more attention than others. So it might look like I've just done one game this year, but you have to go on my social media. It'll all be on the social media. As soon as I'm allowed to say, I will go all out. I'm getting quite annoying with the Star Wars, and I don't intend to stop.
As you shouldn't. As you shouldn't. And I'm going to put every social media handle for you in the description of this video.
Please
obviously.
Do.
So people go and discover the many things that you've been working on, because you have a very exciting life. I think we can say that.
I do now. It wasn't for the last 15 years, but making up for lost time. That's why I don't complain about it, because this is what I wanted. I wanted to work, and I'm finally a working actor, and that's the dream. That's all we want to do. And for me, working on playing all these different characters in different genres, that is the dream. It's the versatility of it. It's a dream. Big influence on me becoming an actor was Gary Oldman in the 90s, because he got to do everything. And he's what you would traditionally call a character actor, but he was playing lead roles with it. And he's just trying, and he's a very specific looking gentleman. He's not a chameleon, but yet the power of his craft, I completely forget every time I see him. He's just a wonderful actor. And it's great to see him in Slow Horses now, just playing someone vaguely normal. When I saw him Commissioner Gordon in Batman, I was like, okay, well, when's he going to flip? When's it cut? And he didn't. I was like, okay, he's normal now, are you? Okay. But it's like, you've earned it. You've earned it, Gary.
Yeah, you can do it.
And his character in Slow Horses is a little bit quirky, and I enjoy it. He's quite quirky, actually.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
he's more human. He's more of a human in this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's like, Gary, we're just rewatching Friends, and his episodes were just up, and I'm like, the spitting acting is still
Great
something.
To see him doing some comedy, right? Because he was doing such serious stuff. Yeah.
He's just great. He's just so great. All right. So we're done with the questions. I have a lovely rapid fire game for you. Very easy peasy. I'm going to give you two things, and you just have to pick one. And we try to
and
get
no judgment,
through them as
Lily.
quick.
No judgment.
No.
We'll leave that to
here.
the comments section. Okay.
Okay. All right. So,
okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So let's start with theater or movies.
Theatre.
Karlach or Lae'zel?
Oh, Karlach. I thought about it though.
Sam or Samantha?
Sam.
Alien or Predator?
Alien.
Singing or dancing?
Both.
Okay. Comedy or thriller?
Oh, comedy.
Video games or Dungeons and Dragons?
Video games.
Dragon Age or Baldur's Gate 3?
Baldur's Gate 3. Come on.
Dogs or cats?
That's not fair.
I know.
Fine, cats. Cats are easier for me to look after in my tiny flat, okay? My theoretical cats.
Excellent choice. Fan fiction or fan art?
Oh, that's not fair. Oh, fan art. Fan art.
Okay. Shakespeare or Chekhov?
Shakespeare.
Conventions or streamily?
Oh, conventions.
Photo ops or autographs?
Photo ops.
Traditional art or digital art?
Traditional art.
Listening to podcast or music?
Music.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars!
Sunshine or rain?
Sunshine.
And the last one, cinema or streaming?
Cinema.
That's a good choice.
Or streaming. Actually, no, I'm changing it. Streaming, because people don't know how to behave in the cinema.
That's very true.
That's
very
where I'm
true.
going with it. I would prefer to watch it on a massive screen with a great Dolby sound system, but people are bored on their phones. So
phones talking. It's like, come on, people! Like, you wouldn't do this in the theater. Why are you doing it on cinema? Cinema?
They do it in the theater.
I know. I know. It's very sad. I really miss cinema. I've been so happy with Vienna so far because everyone is really well behaving here when it comes to the cinema.
Good.
Until I watched Avatar, and I had to tell off two ladies because they just started talking like at the same volume as I am now, and I was like, nah. You're not going to do this throughout the whole 3 hours with me.
Did they stop talking, or did they threaten you with violence like they do in the UK?
No, what they did was like, first they were like, okay, fine. And then 2 minutes later, they started talking again. So I was like, do I really have to ask you again to please shut up? And they were like, okay, fine. Then we're just going to sit somewhere else. And then they went to the back and sat there and they continued to talk and everyone was hearing them talk.
Strange. You don't have to pay money to go and sit in a room with other people and then just talk. You can do it at home. It's great. Do it in your home. Very strange.
It's something that I will never understand of like, why do you go to the cinema for that? Why? Just stay at home then.
They do it in theatre, and you think how expensive those tickets are, like particularly on the, people singing along in musicals. Or I'd just be one of those scummy actors that stops the show, starts talking to them. I'll be one of those douchebags.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not. It's too distracting. Like, it's a social contract. True. It's you sit in the dark for a couple of hours, nice and quietly. If you want to cry at the right point, just do that quietly. That's great. But for 2 hours, you're going to be told a nice story in your warm and dark, and it's great. You don't need to give me your live opinion on it. Do it after.
Huh. Yeah. I think we had one time, but it was really funny because it was part of the play of someone just calling out the audience to shut up. And
that's good.
And we had like a built-in person who would be the talker. And then it wasn't him who talked. It was someone actually in the audience talking. So they were very surprised when one of the actors turned out and was like, hey, can you just shut up? Like, we're trying to perform
that's so great
to
put that in there, because the actors then feel empowered that they can say that.
100%.
Like you said, with this, even with the cinema goers, like there's a sort of zenith. If you don't say anything, you've kind of allowed it to happen. So you've got to pounce on it quite quickly. Yeah, they've all paid for the actors to be good, not for them to be distracted. That's all I'd say. And in cinema, it's just disrespectful to people around you.
It is.
Hey, maybe that's another hot take. I don't know.
And if it is, I stand by it 100%.
Yeah,
it's like, please, if you go to the cinema, just shut up. Like, no one is there to listen to you.
You can walk out. If you want to chat, just walk out. Do it somewhere else.
Exactly.
No one cares.
Just nobody's going to be like, oh, no, please don't go. Anyway, I could rant about cinema goers for a very long time, but I'm going to let you go on your way. But before we do that, I will have to share a joke because it's my thing and I really like to share my awful dad jokes. What did the bison say when his son was leaving the ranch?
I don't know.
My
What
son.
did the bison say? Thank you for interrupting my very childish repetition of your joke. You do a good dad joke.
I love dad jokes. I always get the eye rolls for it, but I think they're great because they're so horrible that I just can't help and just laugh at them.
Love this for you.
Yeah, thank you. I love it too. All right. Well, hopefully in the future, we're going to have you back and when you can actually talk about the things that you did.
Yeah.
Like no Andy is holding back the little in there.
Summer would be good. Mm-hmm. Most of it should
I'll
be
take a note of that. Okay, excellent. And then we're going to put all your socials, everything where you can find Samantha and follow their work. Obviously, follow us as well. And and just keep playing games, keep watching movies, and let's keep entertainment alive because it's fun and it's good. And thank you so much, Sam, for being here. This is really fun.
Thanks again. Thanks for having me again. It's been great to catch up with you.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always really fun. Then I see you in summer, if not sooner.
All right. It's a deal.
Yay. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening to us. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you are looking forward to the next one. I can promise you that there will be even more amazing guests coming on. And I just can't wait to share that with you. And just to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and like and comment. Stay in the loop, stay with me. And there are other things coming, are already on the way. We'll find out soon. See you again next time.